What is up, people, and welcome back to part 48 of my F1 2016 career mode here at the big one, the jewel on the F1 calendar, the Monaco Grand Prix. Today's race is probably one of my favourite tracks. I absolutely love the Monaco Grand Prix, and I think I'm pretty good at keeping it out of the barriers, and that is why I tend to do quite well at this circuit. I don't really mean to blow my own trumpet, but I do think that I am quite good at this circuit, and I've got a good chance of getting a good result here today against the Ultimate AI. Whether that would just be some points or maybe even a podium, that would still be a great result for us in this Force India. If we can get like maybe 5th position or something like that here today, it'll be a fantastic result for us and something that we can build upon and try and get some better results in the future and get more resource points for the car. And talking about resource points, Chris has a little update for us before today's Monaco Grand Prix, so let's head over to him and see what he has to say.
Okay, I've got something for you. The new parts have been fitted to the car. The simulation numbers are good, so look forward to your feedback. Check out the details.
So last time out at the Spanish Grand Prix, we decided to upgrade the chassis weight on our car, the engine cover, and that gives us 5 kilograms less on this Force India, which is really going to help us with acceleration, hopefully through corners as well, which will help around a circuit like Monaco. You know, cornering speed is something that you do want because you do need a lot of downforce, so maybe it would have been better to upgrade the downforce, but I feel like chassis weight was a good thing to go for. Manor have upgraded their car and so Red Bull Racing, so unfortunately Red Bull have jumped above us, but Manor are right behind us in the vehicle performance comparison, so now they are starting to become a really decent team. Sauber are lacking behind quite a bit. I don't think they've really made many upgrades in this whole entire career mode, but Manor could certainly start to be like we were in Renault, where they start making loads of upgrades and move up the performance chain. But without any further ado, let's see what these upgrades mean in terms of performance as we head over to practice for the Monaco Grand Prix. Practice for the Monaco Grand Prix was a really good one for us at one of my favourite circuits on the F1 calendar. We managed to do the track acclimatization fairly easily on the second attempt of asking, coming around the final corner now. DRS open, down towards the line, and it is good enough for the purple score. 545 resource points over 525. So the purple score there, which means we get loads of resource points because of that. So now doing the tyre wear management test, coming down towards the line. We managed to get a purple score on this one as well, which means even more resource points. And also, for the first time in such a long time, we managed to do the qualifying pace as well, as you can see on your screens, beating it by 0.3 of a second. That wasn't just good enough for the green score, it was good enough for the purple score as well, meaning that we maximize the amount of resource points that we get in the whole entire of this practice session, which we haven't done for so long in this career mode. So it means such a lot to us to get all those resource points and really, you know, nail this circuit. And that really sets us up really well for the qualifying session and of course the race in today's Monaco Grand Prix. P1 there in practice, 1:13.9. We'll be hoping to improve on that lap time in qualifying, but that is sort of a basis of what we can do as the weekend goes on. So let's see what we do in qualifying. It's time for qualifying here in the streets of Monaco. We'll be looking to get a really decent result in today's qualifying session. I'm aiming for Q3. I'm not settling for Q2. I'm aiming to get into Q3 in today's qualifying session. So getting through Q1 should be fairly easy. We shouldn't have to do too many laps in there. And then getting into Q3 might be a bit difficult. We may just scrape through into Q3, but that is what I'm aiming for. I'm aiming to get into the third qualifying session, the battle for the top 10, and hopefully we can achieve that here today. So first lap here in this qualifying session, aiming for the top 10 shootout, down towards the line. What is our first lap time gonna be good enough for? It's only a 1:14.3 at the moment. We are going to be looking to improve on that as the session goes on. Coming through the final corner once again, 4 tenths up on our previous best time, down in 19th position right now. Coming across the line, it's good enough for 17th place. It's not safe at the moment. We are still in that drop zone, but here we are, final lap in qualifying. Checker flag is out, down in 18th position, but currently 6 tenths up on our previous best lap time. That delta is now falling at the moment, but 3 tenths quicker. Is it good enough to get out the top 10? Yes, 7th position. 3 tenths separate us from 7th to 18th position. That just shows you how close the midfield is at the moment. But we are into Q2, and here we are on our first lap in this qualifying session, coming down towards the line now. What's the time going to be good enough for? I think we're going to get into the 1:13s, which we do. A 1:13.6, and is that good enough to get us into the top 10 shootout? Yes, it is, quite easily as well, in 5th position with a 1:13.6, just narrowly missing out on our teammate there. But here we are, first lap here in qualifying. What's the time going to be good enough for? Is it going to be a solid lap in this Q3 session? Yes, it is 7th position at the moment, just ahead of Pascal Wehrlein, who is in 8th, and we're doing a good job at the moment in this Force India. And here we are on our second lap, on our final lap here in the qualifying sessions. The rain is starting to come down. As you can see, we are 3 tenths up on our previous best lap time, setting purple in the middle sector, right behind Daniel Ricciardo in this final sector. He might hold us up quite a bit, still 3 tenths at the moment, dropping that up into 5 tenths. We're coming down the start finish straight, following in the slipstream, using the DRS from Daniel Ricciardo. That has sent our lap time to 1 second quicker, and that's good enough for provisional pole position, a 1:12.6. Where on earth did that lap time come from? That is an incredible lap around this Monaco Grand Prix, and it was good enough for pole position, our first ever pole position in this Force India. Fantastic result for us, a fantastic result for the team to beat Kevin Magnussen there by such a huge margin. 7 tenths of a second. Where on earth did we pull that lap time from? It's such a good result over the AI. But Kevin Magnussen, he lines up alongside us in second place, with Daniel Ricciardo in third and Sebastian Vettel lining up on the second row as well. Carlos Sainz is in fifth, with Kimi Räikkönen down in sixth, Nico Hülkenberg seventh, Pascal Wehrlein eighth, Jolyon Palmer in ninth, and Danny Kvyat rounding out the top 10. Not a good result for him in qualifying, so he definitely must have had a problem somewhere around the circuit. So there we have it, pole position for the Monaco Grand Prix, starting in a great place to go on to win our first ever race in this Formula 1 car. Can we do it? We're just going to have to wait and see as we head over to the race for the Monaco Grand Prix. It's race day here on the streets of Monte Carlo for today's Monaco Grand Prix, round 6 of this third season in my career mode, and a fantastic result in qualifying means that we're going to be lining up in pole position, our first ever pole position for Force India, and I think our first ever pole position since maybe around Belgium, no, not Belgium, somewhere before Belgium. So it's been such a long time since we've got a great qualifying session, but doing it at Monaco is a fantastic result for us, and I'm very, very delighted to achieve that. Looking at the driver standings, heading in to round 6, Carlos Sainz leads away on 80 points, 5 points ahead of his teammate Daniel Ricciardo, who won the last time out Spanish Grand Prix. Toro Rosso, though, are just demolishing the Constructors' Championship at the moment, 152 points over 82, so a great job from them. We are there lining up in pole position, a great lap of a 1:12.699. Where on earth did that lap time come from? I do not know. I don't know where the lap time came from. It was such a good lap and just managed to put it together. I think maybe because the DRS following from Daniel Ricciardo really helped me there, and that's how I got into pole position. Look at the race strategy though, starting on the ultra softs and pitting for the super softs. Only a one stopper here at this Monaco Grand Prix, so that should be all okay for us. But here we are, getting away with a formation lap, starting right at the front of the grid, leading the pack, and going to start warming up the tyres as we head back to the grid. And here we are on the grid, the lights coming on. It's 5 red lights, lights out, and away we go for the Monaco Grand Prix. It's a good start compared to Kevin Magnussen and Daniel Ricciardo as we go down in towards turn 1, holding the lead of the race, and that is exactly what we needed to do in this race. Daniel Ricciardo on the worst tyres, on the super soft tyres at the moment, so hopefully we can build a bit of a gap to Daniel Ricciardo. There's a yellow flag out to the moment. Lewis Hamilton is out of the race, Max Verstappen's out of the race, and Romain Grosjean is also out of the race. Safety car has been deployed in today's Monaco Grand Prix on the first lap of the race. That's not really too much of a surprise with it being Monaco, but this is going to help us massively in this race. It means that we can definitely sort out our tyre management and also our fuel management as well. But let's have a look at a replay of what exactly happened at the start of this race. Just watch for Lewis Hamilton, Romain Grosjean and Max Verstappen going 3 wide at the moment down towards turn 1. So, Sebastian Vettel, I think that was hitting the wall on the exit of turn 1. Going down, still 3 wide in towards the casino section. Oh, there's a huge collision there for the Mercedes and Romain Grosjean. Everyone else getting held up at the moment. We're going to have to look into that in more detail. It just happened so quickly for us to really tell what happened. So here we are on board with Danny Kvyat going around the outside. There's a Ferrari just tapping the wall on the outside, losing a bit of his front wing. Now on the run down in towards them. Oh, there we go. Danny Kvyat tapping the barrier on the left-hand side. Then cutting across Lewis Hamilton and Max Verstappen, forcing both those drivers into the barrier. Here's on board with Max Verstappen, who goes down in towards turn 1. But kind of squeezed between Danny Kvyat and Lewis Hamilton at the moment. So he's in the middle of a sandwich going down in towards casino section. And what's what happens here? So there's Danny Kvyat just tapping the wall, cutting across those two, and there's nowhere to go for Max Verstappen. He's just crowded into the wall and loses his left front tyre. I don't know how Danny Kvyat is still in this race, to be honest. He should definitely have crashed out, hitting the barrier at that speed. But He's just been a very, very lucky boy at the end of the day. He's on board with Roman Grosjean going down in towards turn 1. Oh, the Mercedes getting sent into the barrier, and Roman Grosjean nearly going underneath the Mercedes car. That would have been very, very dangerous if that happened in real life, but luckily this is only a game. On board with Lewis Hamilton at the moment, going down in towards turn 1. Let's have a look at what happened on board with him. Oh, he had a good chance there to go up the inside of Sebastian Vettel, but side by side with these two, and it cost him massively into the barrier, losing both tyres, and there he is right across the middle of the track and out of today's Monaco Grand Prix. Not a good race for him, as it has ended as soon as it has begun. But here we are on lap 4 now. The safety car is coming in. We're backing up the pack so much at the moment, waiting for the safety car to come in. Yellow flag, we can go as soon as we want. And there we are. Off we go. Little bit of wheel spin and losing the back end just a little bit as we get underway. But this has been a great safety car restart. And there we go. Just shooting away from the rest of the pack. Daniel Ricciardo already about over a second behind us right now as we come across the line. What is the gap? 1.1 seconds. 1.8 seconds to Daniel Ricciardo. So a huge gap over him. Now we're cutting ahead to lap 15. Nothing happened between all those. That's why we're just leading the race so far out in front. And Jenson Button currently in second place. He's on the super soft tyres, so he's pitting a little bit later on. But here we come into the pits for our first pit stop in this race. Going on to the super soft tyres for, well, all the way to the end of the race, really. And hopefully rejoin probably in about 4th position behind those guys running on the super soft tyres, but hopefully ahead of the likes of Daniel Ricciardo and the other guys. Here is Felipe Nasr, Sebastian Vettel, Fernando Alonso, and somebody else, Esteban Gutierrez. These guys are all on the super soft tyres, and they've already made their pit stops. Fernando Alonso, I believe, is making his pit stop in the next couple of laps, so that is why he is currently on the ultra softs right now. But here we are coming in to the end of lap 16. Fernando Alonso could be coming into the pits now. Yes, he is. There he goes into the pit lane, which means we begin bumping up into 6th position in this race, right behind Sebastian Vettel and Felipe Nasr on lap 17 right now. Just trying to make our way through the field, try and get those positions back, and try and get back up into the lead of the race. We do not want to lose the lead of the race in this Monaco Grand Prix, because it's so difficult to overtake here, and that would just make it really, really more frustrating to lose out the lead of the race and not win here after having such a good position. But Felipe Nasr coming into the pits on the end of lap 17. That puts us right on the back of Sebastian Vettel on the start of lap 18. Currently in P5, he's in P4, and he will be coming into pits later on in the race, so we could wait to get past him then. But here we are on lap 19, still very much right on the back of Sebastian Vettel, going into the left, but then the right of the Nouvelle chicane, down in towards to back, right on the tail of Sebastian Vettel. Can we do anything through the next section of course? I don't think we're going to be able to overtake through here. It's just so difficult to find a bit of room to go side by side with another driver. It's only really the flat out sections like this down in towards the Raskas, all locking up quite a bit, nearly going into the back of Sebastian Vettel, very much on the gearbox of him as we tap the wall on the run down into the Anthony Nose corner. Coming down in towards Saint-Devote at the moment. Can we try and move up the inside? No, we don't. We think better of it. There's no point going for a dive bomb move around here, otherwise it will definitely result in the end of your race. But right behind him on the run down in towards the casino section of turn 2. We're looking maybe to go round the outside, but still no room there. We just don't have the drive out of the corner. Still very much on the back of Sebastian Vettel, fighting for this 4th position in this race. Oh, tapping the wall there through that corner, through Mirabeau. Now we're right on the back of Sebastian Vettel on lap 20 through Portelet. In towards the tunnel now, down towards the Nouvelle chicane. Can we get past Sebastian Vettel as soon as we possibly can? Because otherwise the guys that were running on the super soft tyres right behind us when we pitted do have a good chance of getting past us. Oh, look at that, on the exit of the Nouvelle chicane, Sebastian Vettel looking a little bit out of shape there, maybe because his tyres have completely gone away from him, and that is the advantage that we need. We literally took that opportunistic move, go past him on the run down into to back, and there we go, up into P4 in this race. And now I've got Jenson Button right behind us. We're actually in the lead of this race at the moment. Jenson Button right on our tail on the ultra soft tyres, so he's going to be so much quicker side by side in towards the Nouvelle chicane. Who's going to come out on top? So much better under braking than Jenson Button. Still side by side on the run down to back. We are touching so much at the moment. Still side by side into to back. How on earth are we doing this? Side by side through the first part of the swim pool, still side by side. How is this working? But in the end, Jenson Button has to give up position, and we hold on to the lead of the race on lap 27. Great driving there from both of us to go side by side through there. 1 lap later, on the end of lap 28, Jenson Button looking to have another go around the outside of Saint-Devote. Can he try anything through here? No, he can't. he has to give up position. Daniel Ricciardo running the soft tyres, so he's actually decided to go for super softs and then softs to guarantee that his tyres will last to the end, whereas everyone else I think is just going for softs and ultra soft. Jenson Button trying again, but this time around the outside of the tunnel section, inside line into the Nouvelle chicane, still side by side on lap 34, just squeezing him as much as we possibly can in towards the wall again, squeezing him, and he gives us a little bit back down towards the back. Will it still be side by side? No, it isn't. He gives us the room, and there we go, holding on to the lead of the race still. Here we are on lap 36 right now, on board with Daniel Ricciardo, who's lost quite a lot of positions in this race, following behind the Ferrari of Sebastian Vettel. Going down into the Nouvelle chicane, trying to move around the outside. Then again, the inside line. Sebastian Vettel going very, very slowly at the moment in this race. Side by side, down in towards to back. Who's going to come out on top between these two drivers? Daniel Ricciardo around the outside. No! He goes into the barrier, loses a tyre. Nico Hülkenberg goes into the back of him as well. There's a pile up down in towards the back. Will there be a need for a safety car? I don't think it will be. Daniel Ricciardo out of today's race. Nico Hülkenberg also out of today's race. My teammate is out of the race. Disappointing for him, but here we are on the final lap of the race. Lap 39. We have Carlos Sainz right on our tail right now. He's the championship leader, and that Toro Rosso is very, very quick on any given day. So we need to be aware of Carlos Sainz. Needs to literally hit every single apex throughout the rest of this circuit in order to defend from Carlos Sainz through the next couple of corners in towards Mirabeau now. Just trying to make sure that we just keep him behind us. Don't make any mistakes at all. In towards the Lowe's hairpin, the slowest corner on the F1 calendar. And it looks like Carlos Sainz, there's no room for him to find a way through there. Down towards Portelet, in towards the tunnel section now. Carlos Sainz still very much on our tail. He'll have a good run down in towards the Nouvelle chicane if he can go for a move into this corner. He's going to be right to our tail, but there's just not enough room to go for an overtake into the Nouvelle chicane. So we're still holding position against the Toro Rosso driver. There you can see him in our mirrors at the moment, down in towards the back. I don't think he's going to be able to find a way through this section of corners. So his best chance is get a good run out to the Anthony Nodes corner and down towards the start-finish line. Through the last couple of corners now, down in towards Raskas. Carlos Sainz very much on our tail at the moment. Can we hold on to this position through the Anthony Nodes corner? Losing the back end just a little bit, but we're going to come through for our first ever win in this Force India car. What a fantastic result for us and the team. What a race there at the Monaco Grand Prix. We got pole position on the Saturday, and that set us up fantastically to get the race win on the Sunday. A great result for us, a great result for the team, and a great way to bounce back after that disappointing Spanish Grand Prix. 25 points and our first ever win for Force India, and I'm absolutely ecstatic with that result. Carlos Sainz finished in second to really help him in this championship. Kimi Räikkönen is in third with Fernando Alonso in fourth. Nico Rosberg in fifth with Valtteri Bottas in sixth. Jenson Button, unfortunately, leading the race at 1 point, unfortunately down in seventh position, with Sebastian Vettel down in eighth. Felipe Massa ninth, and Danny Kvyat has lost out massively in the championship after finishing in 10th and getting the final World Championship point. Looking further down the field, and then you have our 5 drivers who did not finish today's race. Nico Hülkenberg and Daniel Ricciardo getting caught up right at the end of the race. And then you have Romain Grosjean, Max Verstappen and Lewis Hamilton having that crash at the start of the race. Somehow, Danny Kvyat not crashing out there. He should have been with those guys, but very, very lucky at the end of the day. Jolyon Palmer not having the best of races, and neither did Kevin Magnussen in the Renault. Both those guys making free stoppers, and the free stopper definitely did not work around this circuit. So disappointing race for the Renault here today. But let's have a look at how its results affect the drivers' standings. And our first win of the season bumps us up into third position in the drivers' standings. A great result for us and a great result for the team so far this season. Carlos Sainz leading the way, still 22 points now ahead of Danny Kvyat. So if this career mode is still as scripted as it was in Spain, then Carlos Sainz is probably going to crash out in the next race in Canada to give Danny Kvyat a good chance. Kevin Magnussen loses his grip on the championship, down 42 points to Carlos Sainz right now, and it's looking like it's going to be very, very difficult for him to catch up to that gap, especially with how good the Toro Rosso is at the moment. In the constructors standings, we hold on to that 5th position. Unfortunately, with Nico Hulkenberg getting caught out there with Daniel Ricciardo, it's no points scored for him, so it's only my 25 points that count towards the tally, and we're losing out a little bit to Renault. We are catching up to those guys, and the gap at the moment is 8 points between ourselves and them. Ferrari is not too far ahead either, about 11 points between us two. I don't think we're going to catch up to Mercedes at this stage of the season, with Toro Rosso running away with the championship. 174 points, 82 points over Mercedes at this stage of the season, and they are looking like it's a slam dunk Constructors' Championship there for the Toro Rosso team. But that is it for today's Monaco Grand Prix. Let's head back to the menus. Looking at the rivalry update after today's Monaco Grand Prix, and we beat Danny Kvyat. He only got 10th position in today's race. He only beat us on the fastest Sector 1 and the fastest lap. Somehow we beat him in Sector 2 and Sector 3, but he got the fast lap at the end of the day. So it's 13-7 right now in the rivalry, and hopefully as the season goes on, we can start to beat him even more. 491 resource points is all that we have at the moment. I was expecting a little bit more after getting pole position and the race win, but unfortunately it's only 491, so we will not be upgrading our car just yet. I'm thinking about either doing the downforce or the engine power, because we know after driving for Renault that straight line speed is so important in this game. If you have a good engine and no drag at all, then you are just going to be blitzing people on the straight. So we might think about upgrading the engine power as the season goes on. But that is it for today's Monaco Grand Prix. A great result for us and our first ever win in this Force India car. If you have enjoyed the episode, don't forget to smash that like button. Also, subscribe to this channel if you are new around here. But I'll see you next time at the Canadian Grand Prix. Until then, though, it's goodbye from me.